We score and call a timeout because I wanted to talk to the team. And Bruce Nascimento and I were on the phones, and I said, Naz, we talked about this. We're ready to go. He goes, we're going for it. You're going for it, right? I said, yeah, we're going for it. I said, but I'm not going to let the kids know that. So I got in the huddle, and I said, all right, boys, we're here. What do you want to do? And every single guy not just said it, but screamed it, we're going for it, coach. We're going for it. With a little bit more colorful language than that.
Should old traditions be forgot? Keep your eye on the prep. Let's go!
There's something almost poetic about it, because there aren't that many times in sports or in life, really, where you really are in control of your own destiny. But going for two is one of those times, and I think there's something essentially prep about it. And certainly it's been essential to prep football's identity for a long time, right up to the current season and the double overtime win over Seton Hall Prep.
We're ending the game right here. We're either winning or losing. And I think everybody on that sideline, we knew Guma was going to hit either Mulcahy or Francesco for that two-point conversion. And sure enough, he hit Paul going at that corner.
I think if we would have went for a tie, I think we would have been upset. I think that's not the way we played. I think we would have been upset if we didn't go for the win. I think we might have went to him and said something.
And it was, for it to be near the end of Coach Hansen's career, his fifth and final state championship, it was very, very symbolic of the '89 in the way it was done.
30 years later, one of the highlights of my first year being back here was making it to the state championship again. And Prep Magic, right in front of my eyes again. As soon as we scored, and we were down by one, there was no doubt in my mind that we were going to go for two and we were going to get it.
I looked at Ryan O'Flaherty, my offense coordinator, and I said, you got the two-point play ready, right? You got the two-point play ready, right? He goes, I got it, coach, I got it. I said, okay, because we're going for it. And, you know, I said it loud enough for the kids to hear because I want it to be a confidence thing. And
when you coach with somebody like Rich Hansen, who's been around the game a really long time, he has a tremendous feel for where the game is going. And one place he did not want the game to go was overtime.
You know, coach, he gave us the call, like, we're going for two. We don't want to go to overtime. We don't want like second chances. We want to end it right now.
I'm like, we're serious? We're going for two here?
Had them on the ropes. Again, you know, they were tired. I thought we wore them down. And we had them guessing. And, you know, I just felt like it was a great opportunity to try and pull it off.
But in the end, it paid off. The big man got the decision right.
There's just this great symmetry about it, and it all comes back to twos, right? So you have two teams, both known for their come-from-behind wins, two quarterbacks known for their grace under pressure, the second season for Rich Hansen as head coach, and the second to last season for Rich Hansen as head coach, two fourth-quarter deficits, two long drives to come within one with a touchdown, and two calls to go for that two-point conversion and the win. And, of course, two state championships coming out of it.
We started out in the first half slow. We weren't doing that much of anything.
And we were really like walking to the locker room at halftime, down 21-7. And there was an announcement over the air for the St. Joe's parents to come to school on Monday to order their state championship rings. We were relentless. We hated losing. We hated losing series, never mind quarters, halves, or games. We had 22 seniors.
The '89 team was so successful because all the kids were very close. I mean, a lot of us hung out together, but all of us supported each other.
These 22 seniors, we were not going to go out without a fight.
We were able to get back and score. You know, to make it 21-14, and then we went back and forth a little bit, and Joe's put on a drive. And they had a running back by the name of Telemac, who was very talented kid.
Their running back, Greg Telemac, busted through everyone.
He was going over to put it away, basically. He would have made it 28-14.
But I remember Brian McMullen reaching out.
Out of nowhere, Brian McMullen, who was a D-end, came down and stripped the ball. And we recovered the fumble.
McMullen stripped him, and we got the ball inside the 1 yard line.
Going into that last game against Don Bosco, the Marauders were the underdogs in that game, actually. The offense was stalling throughout that first half.
And you could hear right from upstairs the energy just kind of dying down on our side of the stadium. People upstairs are telling me, hey, what's going on with Marauder Nation? You got to get them active again. You got to get them alive, get the energy up.
During that whole game, we weren't clicking too well on offense. The Bosco defense did a great job against us. We're really struggling with field position. And we just needed a break.
We were playing a team that won like 5 or 6 or 7 in a row. They were hot. And when you get to those situations, you know, the first game against them didn't matter. You know, we had beaten them once. The week before didn't matter. It's about what you do that day. It's a one-game situation, you know. And the guys never, you know, they were going to let it all hang out, and they were going to play really hard no matter what. Go as hard as you can for as long as they let us play, and we'll probably be successful at the end of the deal. So these guys really, I mean, that was a special group of kids.
You just feel like the love in the locker room just from all of us. I love these guys so much, and then there was so much energy at that moment.
We were a big play team, so we knew, you know, we could break one any time. That's not the way it turned out, but we did get enough going.
We started to find our rhythm. It didn't equate to points necessarily, but we knew that we were getting close, and our defense did a great job, got us the ball back. You know, the way we were driving the ball in the second half, we didn't think we'd have many possessions. So I guess around that 6-minute mark, we felt that this is going to be the drive.
And then there was that miraculous 99-yard drive after the last fumble.
We kept our composure and had a couple near catastrophic plays, but escaped it.
And then, of course, the very first play, we run Mulcahy up the middle. He barely gets out of the end zone. So the game could have been over.
Anytime you do something like that, you go 99 yards in 3 minutes or whatever it was, you got to have some luck too, right? So we were lucky in some respects.
Wolf got us out of the end zone, I think, and then Mulcahy got us down the field.
Honestly, you know, as a coach, it was play by play. Like we were going play by play, just trying to keep it alive and move the chains and obviously use the clock.
And that was it. They opened up. Guma just started throwing the ball, and we were like, "Oh wow, this is pretty cool." You know, when we started to see that, like we were like, "Oh, okay, you know, let's get the engines going." You know, they're back on their heels a little bit.
The confidence we just had this confidence because we've been playing so long together. It was almost like the same starting team as we had as freshmen.
But we made the plays when we need to make the plays. We converted a bunch of third downs. We score.
We knew as Guma kept throwing passes down the field to Jimmy Francesco, to Paul Mulcahy, to John Wolf, to Dom Delafave. Nothing was stopping us in that ending.
And we wound up marching down the field and got the touchdown.
You know, listen, Taj Mel Bullock was, I mean, that's where he, you know, got his nickname Taj Time. That's the key. If you're going to do something like that, in 89 we had Tony Guma, Taj Mel Bullock in 19. You know, you have the guy with you know, the kind of makeup to do that. That's what you need. And that's the starting point, let's say.
You know, we relied on each other throughout the entire season for all the comebacks.
So I looked to my assistants and I'm like, hey, we've been here before, guys. We're good. And we got a big first down. Jelani Mason got a big first down.
During that drive, we had a 4th and 2. Well, we called a timeout after third down to really think about it. And we actually used the play that we wanted to use for the 2-point conversion. We felt that, well, if we don't get this first down, the game might be over. So we used that play. So immediately once we got the first down, coaches started communicating what do we think is our best play. We knew we were going for 2 because coach said that way back in earlier in the quarter.
Nah, it was QB draw the entire way. So coach gave it to me. I called for it too. He gave it to me. You would say as soon as I burst through the hole, like I was kind of in the air almost, like mid through the hole. So like I had to like duck back down, like secure myself because I had to brace myself for the shot. You know, he hit me good on that one. For a second, I'm on the ground just thinking like, I got the wind knocked out of me. So then I get up, like, I just scored. And then I push myself up, and then all the guys that surround me, I just scream.
And you know, it was incredible just seeing Taj Bullock right from the beginning just rush in himself and dive in for the touchdown.
You know, again, we scored, and then we actually called another timeout. We wanted to think about it. We knew we needed to run our best play.
I don't think it was ever a question on Coach Hansen's mind whether we were going to go for 1 or 2. We all stayed out there. He's like, we're going for 2.
And we're not going to go into an overtime in another quarter with this team. Let's do it now.
Did not want to get into a shootout with them. So we said, hey, listen, we got him on the ropes. We had him reeling. You go 99 yards in under 3 minutes or whatever it was, you know, they don't know what's coming.
And I got to be honest with you, when we did the 2-point conversion, because we ran this play before, we ran it against North Bergen successfully. And, you know, we kind of like sat there and like, wow, it's that play again. I'm like, who calls the same 2-point conversion play?
Again, we made that decision a few days earlier in our game prep meeting. And then let's just practice the 2 or 3 plays that we feel comfortable with. And Bruce called the one that I happened to agree with, and we went with it.
And Mulcahy always had such a confidence about him. And you know, once the ball left Guma's hands, we got it.
I don't even think I blocked the guy in front of me because I knew it was going away from me. So I was watching the play as it happened. So I don't even think I blocked anybody.
That game, the 89 game, kind of formed my philosophy. And they've done a bunch of analyticals on it. Going for 2 is a much better probability for conversion than kicking an extra point. But we went for 2 between that St. Joe's game, my second year, and Bosco in 19. We were able to go for 2 a few times and convert, and kind of just became my philosophy that, you know, let's go for the win. I don't like ties, you know, and then you never know what happens.
You know, we talk about this all the time. You know, the types of games that we play in our league. You know, going to overtime isn't necessarily the best case. We had a lot of momentum going our way.
It seemed like Taj was always under control and always had one more drive in him, just like Anthony Guma had one more drive in him. And going against a Don Bosco team for a state championship, get the chance to take the lead instead of going to overtime. Hansen did it again. 30 years later, let's do it again. Let's win it right now. And he did.
And we practice for that. You know, we practice for those situations.
The infamous Hansen 2-point decision to hand it off to Jelani Mason on the option draw.
It was an option play. We felt that our 2 best playmakers from, you know, that tight to the end zone on the 3-yard line were going to be Taj Bullock and Jelani Mason.
We call a jet read, so I'm reading the end on that one, and Jelani's coming, and then you know, I in my mind I'm like, I'm taking this too. So, but at the last second I see he give me the proper read, so I just give it to Jelani.
And you know, as unselfish as Taj is, he made the right read and gave the ball to Jelani Mason, and he was able to beat everybody to the pylon.
Everyone was going bananas in the stands. I mean, I was in the coach's box. Everyone was going crazy.
The reaction of Marauder Nation, the entire student body, the student section. At that point, I said, all right, I'm done being alumni director for the night. I'm going to stay down here with the boys. And the energy was just unbelievable.
And lo and behold, we got the 2-point conversion. Unfortunately, we did it too quickly because we had to kick back off to them.
Here are a couple things that people don't remember or may remember but stick out to me. The ensuing kickoff wasn't kicked in the right spot, and they almost returned it. And my heart was in my throat along with the other 8,000 people who were there for prep. And we were able to get a shoestring tackle for him to trip. And then we had a couple batted balls.
At the very end of the game, John Wolf had intercepted a pass that was toward our sideline. And then that was it.
And then John Wolf, one of our safeties, picked off the pass to end it.
And we were state champions, and yeah, we were all very excited and very proud of each other.
almost like a professional championship because so many people ran onto the field. It was tough to find each other. And then Brian McMullen and I found Hansen. We got him up on our shoulders, and we did a little walk in the middle of the field.
I don't know if I've ever been more nervous as a head coach than that day, or cold. I've never been colder than that. But it was unbelievable. It was just an unbelievable, way to finish that game. Obviously, to win a state championship at their stadium against a great team.
Well, the game football is a team sport, and we knew that maybe we weren't going to get the ball back, but we knew our defense still had to go out there and do the job, and they were able to. Our special teams as well.
There was still one last final drive for the Don Bosco Ironmen to try to upset Prep, and then they decided to go for a field goal, which to this day, I was talking with the coach, it's still very controversial to go for a field goal from that spot, especially at MetLife Stadium.
It was a long field goal, and we had been watching him pregame, and he was kicking him pretty well. But I just even if we didn't block it, I didn't think that thing was going to carry. They didn't have the wind. I didn't think it was going to carry long enough, but we didn't have to worry about it.
The block, the famous block, we see the picture of.
Q blocks it, A picks it up, scores, and it's just crazy.
Where Quentin Lemon went and blocked their kick, what could have been the game-winning field goal, block it, and then our sophomore goes in and grabs the ball and runs all the way down 65 yards. I mean, that was just unbelievable. Between those two plays, I couldn't tell you which one was more exciting when it came to the student body.
Watching everybody sprint down the sideline was a pretty cool experience. To be able to kind of turn around and see what MetLife looked like on our side after Avery crossed the goal line was really, really special.
It was funny because a bunch of people afterwards, some of my former coaches were like, how come he didn't go down? Why did he score? I said, if I put you in that situation, you're 16 years old, you're in MetLife Stadium, it's a state championship, you have the ball drop in your hands with an open field, it's really hard to tell the kid to go down. I get why, and strategically, yep, but man.
2019 had some great players in Cody Simon and Taj Bullock, but their wins, just like us, not just that last game, the playoff games, it came down to come from behind and winning games in the fourth quarter. Coach Hansen's first state championship in his second year, and his last one in his second to last year. Those last 3 or 4 games, not just one game, but the run was equal.
The way that last game ended, the championship game, is not a surprise the way it ended. Because the whole playoffs was Taj Bullock magic, at Bergen Catholic, Taj Bullock magic. And one more time, Taj Bullock magic for the win, the championship game, can't get any better than that.
Times as a coach, you kind of sit back and really appreciate all the hard work and everything that they've done to get us to that point. And then obviously coming out victorious is a tremendous feat.
We all just love being around each other. We still have the group chat going, so guys are always talking in the group chat together. And then, just there's so much love from that team. And we care for each other, like even after the season.
It's funny. I wore my ring today. There's a word on here that we always put on here.
One of our mottos was together,
and the word was together because, that's the way we played.